Hey everyone, surprise! I'm still kicking. Through the thought I kinda got overwhelmed by social media, which ended up draining my energy way more than I would have liked it to. But I figured it'd be nice to give everyone following me a sort of update on what's happening. So, first things first, if you are watching this video on the day I have posted it, July 9th, or at least I hope I do, today is my birthday, which made another reason for me to post this sort of video, to give a fun little birthday gift from me to you. Second, I have most definitely not stopped designing Fakemon during my absence from social media. Not every single one of them has been fully rendered yet, of course, but I do have a boatload of sketches ready to just be rendered and posted to whatever platform I choose. Okay, and third, which has been the most time consuming of all of it so far, but it to me is the most interesting to be working on, is that I have taken up working on an actual ROM hack. And this is where I would have put my title graphic for it if I had one. Anyway, currently Pokemon Iliad, which is the working title of this ROM hack I started working on, is mostly my primary focus. I've been learning how to code, how to make maps, how to do sprite work, and just about everything. I'm still learning. I'm far from an expert yet, but so far it's been really cool just learning how to do a new thing and making something in which I can actually include my Fakemon and make it playable for you guys. At this moment I don't really feel like I have too much to really show off, considering I'm still very much in the process of learning things as I go. But I can show you a couple images of where I am at in development right now. So those will be flying by right about now, I think. And here is a general overview of the maps I have done so far. I know it's an ambitious goal to set, but my goal with this project is to make a mostly open world-ish feeling Pokemon game. One where every single route and town actually connects with everything that surrounds it. Anyway, since I kinda grew displeased with some of the work I did for my Korean Pokemon region, this is where most of my attention actually went to. And I'm really enjoying it. So if you guys are into this, just let me know and I'll share more of the work I'm doing on this and see if I can actually make videos on this. Because I'm enjoying myself. And if you are enjoying this type of content, maybe a little bit adjusted because I'm genuinely not sure what I'm doing. Just let me know and I'll see if I can make more. Okay, so now I'm not even sure I'm gonna be able to call it an intro anymore. Out of the way, let's actually show some Fakemon that I did fully render. So let's do that. Considering this project is gonna be Greek teams, if you didn't catch that from the title Pokemon Iliad, I figured I could stick with the starters I had, or I could make a fully new starter trio based on new ideas I've had, new ideas I've came across, and just generally give an actual new vibe to this whole thing. Because it's easy to just say, like, hey, I have a whole Greek region done, ready to be sprited, and put into a game. but actually work on a game from the ground up and rework all ideas I wasn't pleased with. That's something I genuinely just enjoy doing. So, for this region, I have made a set of 3 new starters. And for these 3 new starters, I have approached everything I have gathered in information in skill to just make a good set which I could convey to you, my audience, the people watching this video, with how I believe you can make a solid starter trio. Now, I have previously discussed how I make starter Pokémons in a video before, but considering this is a whole new world I will be building, and since the last time I discussed it, I have also learned a lot, this might as well be a brand new way for me to discuss this topic. Okay, so what makes a good starter Pokémon? Considering a starter Pokémon, or how they recently started addressing them officially as first partner Pokémon, are the first Pokémon a new player sees in a game. Now, considering this is a fan project, aka a ROM hack, I don't expect many 6-year-olds to boot up this game I'm working on and see these starter Pokémon. But that said, I will do my best to design as if that were the case. So, what are the big points I believe that make a good starter Pokémon? A starter trio works best if it has a serious, a cool, and a funny one. In an interview, Ken Sugimori, a lead designer for Pokémon, has stated that they always divide the roles for the 3 starter Pokémon, which they assign them with personalities for it, being cool, serious, and funny. Well, at least in the case of the Gen 5 starters, they did, like in this stated message in this image from Dr. Lava. Pokémon starters are most often used as the most marketable Pokémon from a generation. They must fit the part of being marketable as plushies, for example. Third, I want for the 3 of them to have an overarching thematic that connects them in their final stages, which, for the sake of this video, I won't be touching on all that much for right now, so that might remain a little bit vague, but you will see later. And fourth, lastly, they must feel like Pokemon. Like, duh, I can go around designing anything and everything I'd want, but if they don't feel like Pokemon, I'd be shooting myself in the foot. Okay, so one more thing that really helped me for the sake of this starter trio is the fact that a couple of months ago, well, multiple months ago at this point, I went through a little phase where I got on a starter Pokemon designing kick, which led to these 3, on which I will not be touching much this video, but they were a catalyst for me thinking it'd be fun to actually give making a Greek region a second shot, which then led me to realize I could discover some parts of Greek history and Greek mythology that I hadn't yet covered, and I ended up at a point where I kind of became locked in on Circe. That and this little spreadsheet of all starter Pokemon really helped me lock in on a grass type pig as a starter for this new project. So I got to designing. Big, round and stubby shapes really helped me sell the cute character starter idea, which mostly led to me instantly locking in that shape language I wanted to get down for this little piglet. It quickly became the cute, or well, funny character personality in my mind already, just from the shape language alone. A big snout that just was really silly looking, with big old huge nostrils also helped me sell this idea. Plus, it added a lot of character and allowed for me to put in some extra contrast colors from the body, which I kept intentionally pretty much on the pale side, leaving the greens for the leaves and mostly for the bottoms only. And 2 big old rosy cheeks, and it became a little cutie in my opinion. Riglet, the veggie pig Pokemon. It spends its days buried in mud and soil. It absorbs the nutrients it needs mostly from the soil it wallows in. Anything else it gets through regular food or photosynthesis. Spriglet are considered to be an extremely friendly species of Pokemon. Because of this, it is considered to be an ideal first partner Pokemon for new trainers. Okay, yeah, let's do a little backtracking here. So let's grab the handy dandy spreadsheet from before. Okay, so with my grass pig logged in, I quickly found connections, which I will be discussing on a later date when I show you the final stages for these 3 starters, that led me to conclude that a snake would be a very good fit. Which I'm giving such good commentary on how to make a starter Pokemon, aren't I? Yeah, anyhow, with Circe as a connection with the pig Pokemon, I more or less settled on a sub-thematic of transformation and magic, which is where snakes come into play. And I did end up finding a cool idea for the snake starter while I was looking for snakes found in Greece. This is the nose-horned vipers, a snake I found as example on the island of Crete. Okay, let's roll the tape. Now, something Pokemon has done a lot of in the past is to take an animal and give it, for example, 1 or 2 fantastical features. Think of Goldie, which is essentially a goldfish with a horn on it. And as you can see, I pretty quickly found that feature for me in this design, being the horn nose, which I started playing up very quickly to a point where it became the center feature of this snake's design. All by all, even though I kinda did give it a big nose, which is objectively kind of a funny design feature, in my mind it kept circling back to the fact that I wanted this snake to be treated as the more serious design of the 3. Another issue that rose up while designing this little snack, was the fact that making it just another orange or red colored snake would make it feel just about overdone. Instead, after considering multiple different colors, I ended up with the idea that the nose would in fact be the heat orbit of the snake, allowing me to center the design around it more and keep the body more muted colors and darker colors. Hisizzle, the flame fiber Pokemon. The large protrusion on its face is not a nose. Its nose is merely the yellow spot placed on it. In fact, the large protrusion is actually a horn. Hisizzle can heat up this horn at will and leave its target with a burn. It is considered a very independent Pokemon, but yet it craves validation. Because of this, it has been tested as the first partner Pokemon for beginning trainers. The excitement of these new trainers seem to be a perfect fit for it. Okay, let's grab that handy graph one more time. You see, one of the reasons I circled back to this graph a couple of times was that when I originally made these designs, I intentionally kept referring back to it in order to be able to demonstrate how keeping some design elements in play that were already established can really help support your own work. With that, I mean the fact that there are, for example, 2 turtle Pokemon as starters, 2 crocodile starter Pokemon, and 2 monkey starter Pokemon. Heck, I could name them all, but I'm pretty sure you get what I mean. These can be very handy when you try to make your own Fakemon starters. They have something to fall back on, a design convention which you can use to support your own ideas, or allow you to narrow down your own scope somewhat to be able to allow you to hone into a better idea which you might have had. Which now, cycling back to this graph again, helped me realize that making a cat Fakemon starter that is a water type would fit in perfectly in line with the cat starter Pokemon we currently have. and 2, it would also fit the Greek region thematic I was also working with. But more importantly, I remembered that I had previously learned about the Aegean cats. This is a cat breed from islands within the Aegean Sea, which is not only one of the only native cat breeds to Greece, but it's also known for its love of water and fishing. These cats actually swim. How perfect was that? So I got to sketching. And sketching again. Some more. And again. It dawned on me that making a new body type, new shape language for a cat Pokemon was gonna be a lot easier said than done. It also really didn't help that there were so many cat Pokemon already, nor the fact that cats are pretty common in the general Fakemon community at large. But I set out with the idea that I wanted this cat starter Pokemon to not start on 4 legs like the other two, Litten and Sprigatito do. So I wanted it to be more of an inverse of them. Actually start on 2 legs, which did allow me for more creative solutions and problem solving when it came to its pose, but it kept making it difficult to find the right one. I knew what I wanted to do, but I kept struggling with how to get there, which eventually allowed me to come up with a pose where it could actually just be floating in the water. Have its legs up, just have its arms flailing about a bit, and just relax. Plus, this way I could also more easily add in some tools which would be helpful to us later. I mean, elements I could really build on when it's evolved. Hittite, the catfish Pokemon. Scientists believe that Hittite may have used to be a different Pokemon in the far past, and it adapted to live in the water after an unknown event made its previous home unsuited for it. Despite the fact that it does carry a potent venom in its whiskers and tail, it has been proven to be a very suitable Pokemon for beginning trainers. Confidence carried by most of its species has been reported to help indecisive beginning trainers during their journeys. So, yeah, this ROM project is essentially me just returning to pheobos, but not quite. One region rename and a whole bunch of redesigned and revamped designs are going to go into this. And so are these new starters, which, in my opinion, were warranted. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hey, if you made it to this part of the video, consider dropping me a like, subscribing, and maybe commenting, even if it's just a birthday wish for me. And this video ended up becoming a lot longer than I had anticipated. So yeah, sorry for this kind of feeling half-assed. I literally started on this the day before my birthday, and I kind of fell victim to scope creep thanks to that. I've mostly been occupied with trying to get this up and running and just getting a general understanding of how this all works. Like, here are the sprites I've been working on for the starter trio, for example. It's a fair amount of work, but I'm down for it, honestly. Let me know what you think, and which of these starters would be your choice. And also which or what you would like to see me add during this new journey. Anyway, that's all for today. Bye-bye.